Hello everyone, it's Dragana from Saacibo. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Last video was a short update about my channel, and while I was talking about these updates, I've done a little process video in which I made stamped masterboard. I didn't really go into details. I basically told you what I'm going to use, and then you could see me make that masterboard. And in this video we will do 3 examples, not one, and every time we'll use a slightly different approach so that you can see different ways of doing this, because not all of us have the same tools or the same materials, and I wanted to give you as much as I could in terms of ideas, what you can use, what works, what perhaps doesn't, or it works differently. And hopefully by the end of the video you will be able to choose which of these approaches works best for you. So in terms of paper, in that last video I used deli paper, which is this one. This is not a parchment paper. It's not used for baking. It's quite thin. I've used it before in several of my videos. It's a little bit shiny, but it's not waxed. Similar to newsprint perhaps, and I get a lot of questions where you can get this paper. I honestly don't know. I get it from the local craft shop. It is quite inexpensive and you get large sheets. Actually, I use it for my desk all the time. And I understand that not everyone can get hold of such papers. Perhaps you can use tissue paper, which is a little bit thinner. In terms of texture, it's probably the most similar to tissue paper. So I thought today, apart from the deli paper, we'll try something else. We will try one with just packaging paper or brown paper bags, okay? So packaging paper that you sometimes get when you buy online, you know, like you buy things from Amazon or whatever. They put some of that paper inside. Sometimes it's wrinkled. You can flatten it, you can iron it to make it flat. It's quite readily available to most people, I think. And the good thing about it is it's already brown, so we don't have to worry about that white paper, which is not bad all the time. I like white. Another thing we're going to do today is use scrapbooking paper. And I have a lot of scrapbooking paper that is one-sided, which means the other side is completely white. I've done a video a while ago, I think 2 years ago something, I will link it down below, on how you can quickly fix that issue and what you can do. And I found 3 of these from that video that I haven't used anywhere, and I'm going to use one of them today. I painted this one quickly with acrylics. I've used rust on this one, and I used coffee on that one. Napkins. I'm only going to use one napkin. I'm going to use this one because I tried it and it gave me really nice result. Now people sometimes say, I don't have nice napkins, I only have white or plain color. That is fine. But the reason I'm using this one is because I can take it apart and I will show you with each part what we can do. The white or the third ply of the napkin, we will use it with the scrapbooking paper. The second ply, that is actually a ghost print. It has some of the design left. I'm going to use that one with the packaging paper. And I'm going to use the last one that has the print. I'm going to use that one on deli paper. One thing that we have to have is something to glue the napkin onto the paper. And in the previous video, I used this extra gloss varnish. This is acrylic varnish. It's quite thin and easy to apply. It's by this brand, Art Deco. I buy it here in the craft shops. And what I would like to say is don't really worry about the brands. Get the one that you can get your hands on easily. The one that you can either order online or buy locally. I always try different things. I'm using this one because I have a lot of it. But next time when I buy, I'll probably try something else. If you don't have varnish, do not despair. You can use plain white glue or clear glue. The water-based glues, basically. The ones that dry slowly, either clear or white. I've used white when I worked with napkins before in one of the old videos from making faux botanical papers. And I've used this one when I was creating textured papers from napkins. So either one will work. One of the reasons I decided to use varnish today is because I'm going to use some dried flowers. Varnish for some reason makes the napkins really see-through, more so than any of these does. If you have some acrylic gel, whether gloss or matte, any brand, Liquitex is fine. This is the one I have here. It's easy to buy in the shops, so you can use those as well. Okay, I just want to point out the difference here and the results they give when it comes to using napkins. Acrylic gel gloss. It says clear transparent, and it is, but the napkin stays white. Okay, it goes transparent but not completely. You can still tell the napkin was there. There's some white areas, and when you use dry petals such as these ones here, they don't really show through as much as I want them to show through. In this case, I used this extra gloss varnish. The napkin here is not as white as there. I did add some colored inks. I've also used petals. But as you can see, perhaps here where there's not so much color, you can see more of the brown, okay, showing through than here. And I put 2 coats, so it's a little bit glossier than the other ones. So that's the main difference. The way the napkin behaves. With varnish, it becomes more see-through than it does with acrylic gel or even with glues. All right, you will need some ink pads. I've used permanent inks. It says permanent waterproof, which means when I apply a medium on top, such as glue or varnish or acrylic gel, it's not going to dissolve. And then I thought maybe I should try using distress inks. These are not permanent inks, which means they will slightly, start to run when you apply anything that has water or liquid in. And this is the result. I don't mind it. I actually like it. So distress inks can be used as well. The images are not as crisp. They become a little bit fuzzy, but it adds to the look. It's still very nice. So if you don't have permanent inks, just use distress inks. You will need some stamps, and I've been using silicone stamps in the previous video, and I'm going to use them today again. And the best way to achieve this look of stamped masterboard is to have your stamps organized on these acrylic blocks. Okay, so you take a few stamps, you organize them the way you want them, and they stay there. So when you stamp, instead of stamping with each of these separate, you just do the whole block at the same time. And then also pick a few smaller ones that you can use to fill in the gaps in between these. So these are the ones I've been using. And I thought, once I put them on these blocks, I don't really feel like taking them off because it takes a while to organize everything. And I wanted to try something different, perhaps with different stamps. And I thought I'd rather get more of these stamping blocks, but they can be expensive, and then where to keep them? It's just becoming too much then. So I went around the house trying to see if I have anything else that can be used, and I realized that silicone stamps will adhere to glass. Okay, and I found this. I don't know what's it from, but it's a piece of glass and it works all right. It's thick enough so I am able to use it. And then it occurred to me, because it works on glass, it would work on glass jars. And I found this one. It has 6 flat areas. You can use the round ones, I suppose. I tried, but they kept falling off, the round ones, and the square ones where they have at least some flat surface works the best. And I loved it. So I organized my stamps like this, and then what I do is just roll it when I'm stamping, and I can switch the colors as well. Doesn't have to be all one colors. I really love it. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. I'll just go into my pantry and look to see if I have more of these jars, because they're perfect for my stamps. I have them ready there. I just stamp and then that's it. And I can even keep something inside. Another thing the stamps, silicone stamps, will adhere to is metal. Okay, so even the metal lids you can use to keep your stamps on. Although it is a little bit difficult to work with because you don't see where you're stamping. It's best if it's clear and there's no clear metal, but it can be used, okay? You just have to, know and where's what, perhaps. It's a bit harder to work with, but it's possible. Okay. If you don't have any silicone stamps and you like the look of stamped masterboards, you can make your own stamps. I've done a video on that. Here are some examples. These were really cheap to make and a lot of fun. And you can find templates on my website. These were with leaves and flowers. This is just with some leftover pieces. They were made with craft foam and cardboard, okay? So you can make your own stamps and make really unique masterboards with stamps. I've been using some dried flower petals in my papers just to add that little bit of something extra. And if you don't have any, if you're in an area where it's winter now, you can't even get the flowers and you don't want to wait for them to dry, perhaps you can just use some tea bags. Get a tea bag. This is it, like mint tea. You open up a tea bag and you use that tea that's inside to sprinkle on your papers. It will also smell nice if you use some teas that are really fragrant, such as mint. I have some calendula tea here, and I really love using it. And you can also use some spices. I didn't realize I ran out of cinnamon. This is cinnamon, believe it or not, just a little bit left. I use a lot of cinnamon. It will add a little bit of texture and it will also smell very nice if you like cinnamon. And one more thing I'm going to use today is coffee, or you can use some spray inks. In the previous videos I used spray inks, but today I think I'm going to use coffee. It works either way. With spray inks you get different colors. With the coffee you get that perfect brown. And these, you need a wider brush that's not too firm or harsh to destroy the napkin. Doesn't have to be super soft, but just soft enough so it doesn't rip the napkin. And just a container to put your varnish in. Okay, I can't wait to start. So let's start with the packaging paper. Okay. That is my packaging paper. As you can see, it has a few stains. I probably used it underneath something, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to cover it. And I really want to show you how this thing works. This is so cool. And you know what? I'm going to use distress ink. I don't mind if everything just dissolves a little bit. It should be fun. This is how I do it. I just apply the ink. Just go around and apply the ink like this. Keep turning. Turning. And I start like this from one end, press it, then you go like this, press again. It's like magic. I love it. Okay. Not bad, I think. And I don't really mind if I don't get a complete print, because that's that look. We're going to add other things and it's not important that it's complete. Okay. I don't really want to repeat the pattern, so I'm going to start from that one so that there is a little bit of difference. And now I'm starting here. Just do this, press a little bit harder. Love how quick that is. So now I'm going to start with this one. Let's apply the ink again. This is so quick and a lot of fun. I love it. Okay. There we go. Masterboard done. That was so easy, wasn't it? I can't believe it's already done. It's actually much quicker than with these. I love it. Okay, now the second step is to apply the varnish. And perhaps I'll put some of these petals, the red ones. They're really like skeleton petals. They're from the cactus flower that I used for eco printing. So after it was flattened, it became so thin and see-through. I love it. So I'm just gonna have them there ready. Okay, let's do this. Apply the varnish. The ink is starting to run a little bit. I don't mind. I said that's what we expected. You knew it's gonna happen, so we're not gonna panic. But I'll just do like this so it's equally covered and distributed. Okay, not too bad. That's all right. Okay, let's put some of these. I'll put them a whole. There's some seeds as well from that same flower. These. Okay, let's put some of them. It's just to add a little bit of texture. I just spread them out. I don't really worry too much about placement. It's just to give an extra dimension. I think that's probably enough. Should probably work a bit faster because varnish is going to dry. Okay, I'm taking the napkin now and placing it over. All right, here we go. I start from the middle and work my way out. So is everyone back to their routines after the holidays and everything? It took me a while to get back. I think since the beginning of the year, I've been decluttering my studio and trying to use the scraps of paper and fabric, and just I actually enjoy doing that. And in the process, I created a lot of little collages similar to the ones I've done in that video with eco printed leaves, and I've shared them in a post in a Facebook group. I didn't do a video on that because it's quite similar. I didn't want to repeat myself, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. If you have a lot of bubbles, just use like a needle or a pin or something to make the air leave like this. Just open it up a little bit. It's right. I'm not trying to be too gentle with this because, you know, I do like when it's a little bit, what's the word, grungy. Turn it like this. And what's going to happen now is as it dries, these might start curling up like this. So wherever you put it to dry, you can put something on those four corners or add a little bit of tape to keep it flat, or just leave it. It doesn't matter if it curls up. You can cut off the excess later on and put something heavy on top to flatten them. That's fine. So for the next example, I'm going to use this one, the coffee dyed. So if you have coffee dyed papers, it can even be just plain copy paper. It doesn't have to be even scrapbooking paper. You just trim your napkin to fit. And I'm going to use some of these colored inks. I like these colors and I think they would look good with the coffee. And I'm going to use the blocks now. Just going to take them out. I'm going to use black as well. Put it there. And I might even use some brown. I like to start with the biggest one. And for that one, I'm going to use the brown. Okay. Honestly, I can do this all day. And I'll just start from any corner. Hold it a little bit. Lift it up. Perfect. I could probably do one more on this corner with this same one. When I do this, I keep turning them this way and that way because I don't want my papers to have a specific orientation. I want them to be looked from all angles, if you know what I mean. Okay. Nice. Love that. So I'm done with that one. I can put it away. Okay, now I'm going to use this one. All right. I could go like this and, you know, whatever, but I think I'm going to go with, I think this is orange. Just keep turning it until everything is covered with ink nicely. Let's see. I'm going to go here. Should I go? Oh, I'll just go here. Nice. Go once more with this one. Maybe there. Nice. Okay, enough of that one for now. Let's do that one, and with this one I'm gonna go, hang on, just do this like that. I'm gonna go with the green. That's supposed to be the green. Does it fit in here? It does. Nice. Let's do one more in green. Here. Good. Okay. No, we haven't done any in blue. Oh, we'll do the bees in blue. The one with the bee. I think it fits here nicely. Yeah. Like the blue. I don't think I'll use the yellow. I think it's not really going to stand out. I'm going to skip the yellow. Maybe we need more blue. Will it fit there? No, I'll just put it here. Okay. Now the text. I think I want a text in black. We've got the text here and that there. So maybe there. That's right. I think enough of that. Now I want some of that dark brown, perhaps here. Use this small one. And got that one. Maybe black. Over here. Cool. I'm gonna use this green one, put it in here. That's interesting. Now we have that space there left. I'll just go with the blue. Nice print. Gonna go with black. Just fill out some areas that perhaps are a little bit empty, like so. And then try here. Cool, I've got this leaf. Maybe the leaf. Do one in orange and then we do another one in green. Cool. There's a little bit room here. I could add something else like a word or something. Where is that? I have this one. The word love. Yep. Maybe somewhere else. Try the blue. This word, what's this? It says discovery. Let's go with the brown. Remove this one. And maybe here. Alright, so I think my masterboard is done. I'm going to use just a plain white napkin because we already have some color here. We have colored inks and we also have a coffee dyed background, so I'm going to use just white napkin and I'm going to sprinkle this mint tea. Okay, I'll just have it ready here. Take the top off and let's just apply varnish. Okay. As you can see, the permanent ink doesn't get fuzzy when you apply varnish. It stays the same, doesn't change. Just going to add this underneath because I really want to go all the way to the edges. Oh, It's not mint tea, sorry. It's pink rosehip. But something similar. I don't know why I thought it was mint. It wasn't. I must have grabbed the wrong tea bag. That's all right. It's still tea. That's enough. I'm going to grab some of that calendula tea. That's a nice one. And I don't want to put too much, you know, just a little bit for the interest. Since we added, I might as well add some cinnamon. It's gonna smell nice. This varnish starts to dry really fast. And if that's the case with the varnish you use, you have to work fast. Love this. It's been really cold here the last few days. The snow has melted, but the temperatures stayed well below zero. This morning was minus 10 Celsius here. So I turned the heating on and then I started a fire as well. Not very cost effective, but I felt the heater was just struggling. And I love the sound the fire makes. Besides, when I'm filming, I actually have to turn the heating off because the heating unit is right on the outside wall where my studio is. So that humming or buzzing sound can be heard. So I had to switch it off while I'm filming, and then the house gets cold really quickly. So what I've been doing on the days that I'm filming, I actually start a fire, that old fireplace oven, just to keep the house warm, because to get a full-length 1-hour tutorial, you actually start with a 3 or 4 hour of recordings. I don't know. I already love this one. I think it's probably going to be my favorite, but we'll see. Have one more to do. I'm going to take this one to my drying area. And now we're going to do one on deli paper. The ones on deli paper make the best sound, I have to admit. All right. And here I think I want to use my jar. I love it. So let's just go with the brown. We'll go brown permanent ink. Well, there's probably going to be some of the black ink left, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. I never know. I should count when I start, because sometimes I forget to ink all 6 panels. Okay, let's start with this one. I think deli paper is really good for stamping. Look how crisp that is. Nice. I'll just put something here to stop the paper from moving. Right, I'm going to start with that one now. Oh, I love this. So easy. Cool. And once more. So you roll it up 3 times and you're done. It's quicker than with blocks, isn't it? I'm definitely going through my pantry looking for all the jars that have this shape. Okay, I'm gonna start with that one, which is here. Done. I'm going to use this printed napkin, and I'm going to use coffee for color. I mean, the napkin has a little bit of color, like almost, I don't know, a bit of gray. I'd rather have a little bit of that coffee color. Going to add a bit of coffee, like that, just 1 teaspoon to start off. Don't want to add too much because you might make it runny. And this is just regular filter coffee. It's not instant coffee, but you can use instant coffee. It's the same. All right. I don't think I'll use any dry leaves or teas here because they're not really gonna be that visible underneath that printed napkin. So this one's just going to be flat, no texture, from plant materials. Okay, here we go. We'll put the napkin over. And then we just go over again. It's curling up already, and if that happens to you, just be gentle if you stretch it out, because it happened to me with one of the examples I've done earlier, that when I pulled it, I just ripped it apart. Okay, just need a touch of coffee here. This one's already looking good. I really love how the stamping shows through the napkin, and it has just a little bit of color, the right amount. So I'm going to let these all dry, and then we'll come back and see what we made. Here I am a few hours later. The papers have dried. Now I need to trim them. This is the one we've done with distress inks. That's the one we've done with brown permanent ink, white deli paper, and the napkin. It's nice. And there's the one we've done on scrapbooking paper. Okay, now let's trim them. You can do this with scissors, or you can do with a ruler and a knife. Basically just square them up, and I think they are just a little bit larger than 12 by 12. Very happy with that one. Okay, let's trim this one. Love it. This one's 12 by 12. Nice. And the scrapbooking paper one, I can just do this. Just cut with scissors. This one has curled up a little bit more than the others, but nothing that can't be fixed. I will leave it underneath something heavy overnight and it will be flat. But I really like it. I'll just bring it up close. And this one turned out so nice too. I love the flower petals. There's hardly any white showing. And I love how the distress ink is a little bit fuzzy. And look at that one. Very crisp images. And those roses just make it look really nice and vintage. And the brown ink underneath really stands out. Actually better than the green ink that I've used in one of my previous attempts. There's the difference. I mean, it's not bad, but the brown looks better, I think. And I want to show you what I've been making with the papers from previous video. I think I've done this one in that video, and I've created from the 12 by 12 sheet. I've created this pouch with a window. I used a specimen that I laminated inside of a recycled cellophane bag, and then I created this little pouch, and this part here that I cut out, I simply glued and stitched onto this card. So this was all made from one of these 12 by 12 papers. Love it. This is another one I've created. That's the back. It also has a little pouch and a little tag, and one more. Love this one with purple flower petals. Here I have attached one of my charms and I turned that into a tag. I hope this video was inspirational and helpful to you, and I was thinking of creating some of these next week, so it would be great if you could join me. Thanks so much for watching, and I see you soon. Bye.